This is part 2 of a two-part interview between Sisi Salamanca and Mark Muskens. Part 1 is also available in our Beyond Interior Design podcast.
And it's funny because what I see is that when you offer only interior design, most people are willing to pay without having that value. Like people are willing to pay for an interior, a beautiful project of interior design, not getting anything personally or fulfilling or just a beautiful space, and they are willing to pay that money. So it has to be better if you offer this value of improving your way of living and your relationships and your purpose in life. It has to be more, it has to be easier, right?
Yeah, but the funny thing is, not everybody wants a good interior design. Sometimes you meet people that don't care about interior design in the world. Most of the time you say, I don't know how it is with you, but every time I said in my life, hey, what is it that you're doing? I'm an interior designer. I say, oh, well, nice. Wow, great, lovely, amazing. It's never like, oh, what is that kind of? That's a dull profession. That's boring. And I met once in my life. I met a guy who said, oh, that's boring. Yeah. And I was so interested because it's not that everybody needs this product. Right. We need to be aware of that.
Everybody needs it, but they don't know. That's the thing.
First they don't know, but some people are really happy in just, well, let's call it a brick bunker. They don't need all this things. And or they're not looking for a higher purpose. They are just happy. They're happy. You can wake them up and maybe they will wake up and they say, hey, there could be more in my life than just this.
I don't agree with that. I totally think that everybody needs it. Everybody. Yeah. Even if you don't have money, even if you don't have a purpose, but the power that you can actually change the mindset of someone with just a few painting a wall and adding some pictures and maybe some wallpaper and very little change. But it's the way I see it with house coaching is a way of self-knowledge, like it's a very powerful tool to know who you are, where you're going, what your dreams, your passions. Who doesn't need that?
Well, let's say it. If the people that are looking for that, those are your ideal clients.
Yeah.
People that are looking for the higher purpose in interior design. They don't want this beautiful stuff and that's it. Those are your ideal clients. So don't focus on the people. If you're looking at the business perspective, don't try to convince clients that don't care about this higher purpose, because then your business is really heavy.
That's true.
Yeah. If you say, hey, I love bicycling every day, and you are offering them a car. They say, I hate the car. Yeah. No. Take the bike. Take the car because it's much better. You're going faster. When it's raining, you are dry, and and there are electric cars, by the way. So it's not it's good for the planet or whatever. You can convince them, but they are so happy on the bike. So this is not your client.
That's true. One of the things that I wanted to ask you, and you mentioned something about that, is when I coach interior designers, sometimes they talk to me about the fear of losing. Well, there are a lot of fears, but this one especially of losing their signature, because it's supposed to, you as a designer have to leave a signature in every project, and you have to be recognized for it. And the profession expects you to have a certain signature and be known by it. And when we coach, when we do house coaching, we have to get rid of that somehow, because the interest is in the client. You need to focus on the client's needs and really connect and be very generous about it. So how do you manage that? How do you keep them from feeling fearful about leaving their signature and actually taking care of their clients?
Well, I think when you mentioned fear, I was like, oh yes, the imposter syndrome that a lot of designers are facing. So let me, if it's okay with you, let me talk about that first, because the fear of having principles and well, people that want to try to avoid them, or you need to ignore them, that's another thing. For a lot of designers, I told them they have the best intentions, but the most of the designers think I'm not good enough. I'm not the best interior designer yet. I always like to place yet maybe behind, because that will change already your mindset. But what is it? Is it if you think I'm not good enough as a designer, and a lot of creators do have that, it's how hard is it to start to get your story into the world when you think who am I? It's, for me, it's a kind of excuse to stay small. And that's really safe and really comfortable, because you will have some easy, nice clients, and you can do whatever you like, and it's okay. You are designing and you have some projects once in a while. But if you really have a message to share, you just have to tell yourself, hey, I am good enough right now. And then we have those perfectionism, because we are aesthetic people. We are working with visual. We are those, yeah, we are perfectionists. So the thing is, well, I don't know where it's coming from, because what would be perfect, you know?
There's no perfect. There's no perfect.
What is perfect? You have something you want to achieve. You have your own dreams. You want to build something with your business that really excites you. And that's a great driving force to start your business and to continue with your business every day. Like, hey, I want to have I want to touch that higher purpose with my clients. But if you think I'm not good enough, so I'm always like, hey, what if now would be the right moment to step up and start thinking like, hey, I'm just going to build. I just take, what really helps me is I'm just taking the first next step. Otherwise, it's kind of, I see Sven in the chat here, perfectionism is just another word for postponing, because that's what you're doing with perfectionism.
I think it definitely comes from our education system, because we are trained to have an external verification of who we are, of how are we measured, like if we are good or not. It's something external that is supposed to tell us if you are good or not. And that's how they educate us from 4 years old to when we graduate from college.
Yeah.
And then we come into the profession, so we are looking for the for the grade from the client, from the, you know, we're looking for it, but we don't get it. So it's kind of it's scary, right? So what we do in the House Coaching Institute, the first coaching we have is actually being our own measurement in terms of strengths and what I want to be, who I want to be, how my life is good for me, not external. I don't know how to say it, but how to measure. And that's my next question maybe for you, is about success. Success is a concept that we learned also from education, from the education system, that success is when your teacher gives you an A.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And in the business world, maybe how much money you make, or that's the way success is measured. And that has a huge impact on our purpose, because sometimes myself right now, I feel the most successful woman in the world, but for some people I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, but
So
mindset is everything. But think about it when you have something beautiful to share with the world. Some mentor told me, because I took a lot of trainings together with Sven, we spent over $100,000 in total the last few years on trainings, because, well, we always say the biggest project, that's you, that's yourself.
Yeah.
So work on that one, but see it this way, that is really you're really selfish if you keep your knowledge and your expertise and your love and your everything you have to offer to the world,
Friends.
and you keep it for yourself. It's selfish. You are disserving people in the world. You have something to share, and because you think it's not perfect enough, I'm not good enough, you don't do it. So think about it this way. Look in the mirror and think about because you are a perfectionist, you are postponing all the great stuff, what it is that you keep for yourself, what you're not sharing, because we all want to share, but maybe it can make you feel horrible. And that could be a breakthrough in your mindset to just think, to decide right now what I have in my mind, my dreams, my desires, what I want to build with my design office. I'm just starting right after this podcast, sorry, with what I like to do for years, with my dreams. Just start with the first next step to build that. What do you think? We have an institute right now with one of the biggest global communities on LinkedIn, Beyond Interior Design. And what would happen if I thought 2 years ago, because we just started 2 years ago, what would happen if we thought, well, we are just Sven and I, who are we? We're just interior designers from the Netherlands and nobody knows us. And well, let's keep this system for ourselves, and who can benefit from that? And well, who wants to listen to us? And an institute? Hell no. Why? Well, no, you need to build an institute when you already died. Then you get an institute. Or most of the time it's with artists. When you die, you earn the most of money, because then your picture or your interior designs are valued the most. But if you think about it, we never started the institute. If we thought so small, and if we were acting like a perfectionist, well, then we couldn't create those steps what we did right now. We never could.
Yeah. So how do you do that in your institute? How do you deal with perfectionism and the feeling of not being good enough with your students? How do you do that?
Well, like I said, take the first next step, because I'm getting scared too sometimes from the really big goals. If you told me, hey, you're going to build an institute, or you're going to do a podcast, it's heavy. Could be heavy in your mind, because you make it so big. Or like, hey, when I have that awesome premium paying client, well, maybe that scares you. But what is the first step you think you need to do to connect with those people? Or to just take every time, create chunks of the journey. If you're focusing on every time on the end goal, you wake up, it can be your driving force, that you want to create something bigger than yourself. But if it scares you, you're going in the wrong direction, because then you don't act on that. Mm-hmm. So make really small chunks of it. Every step you need to take in order to achieve your dreams.
Right. One of the things that worked for us, because we have had the same thought, like we are a group of women from Colombia and Denmark, and we wanted to build this multinational institute.
Don't smile. You're serious about it. I know it.
I am serious, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Because we are now we are visible. Now we are visible. That's why we found each other, because we are visible enough. So we found each other. And I'm in Colombia, you're in the Netherlands. So it's happening and it's working. And the way we decided to approach it, and I guess I think it was a good way to do it, because I struggle with the same thing in my coaching with the designers every day. when they face their clients and they feel they're not good enough and they get scared. And connecting to your strengths is something that actually works very fast. When you know what you're good at, like you do very well with other people, and that's your signature. That's how I see it. When you know clearly what you're good at. And
but those are then you are already confident about skills you have and you're good at. But it's about the things that you think I'm lacking of: being a good leader, communicating really well, I'm not the best designer. Those are the thresholds.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's great to remind of your unique powers and your unique potential, but the things that are scary are the things that you think I'm not good enough. So you can start, there's another principle that came up, it's the 80-20 rule. Just do things, and it's scary. The first time, it's really scary. Do things for 80%. It's like you want to make it perfect, but that's 100%, but just stop at 80%. And maybe the first time you think, this is 80%, and you're already 98. And then the first time you get better at it. But just see what's going on when you create things for 80%, that you think, okay, it's good for now. Keep yourself in that thing, because when you're too much in your head, well, sometimes you say when you're in your head, you're dead. Then you don't create.
Yeah.
And why wait when you can create? That's always, I like always this one-liner. Why wait when you can create? We have so much ideas. So experience the beauty of starting with something. And then your brain will tell you, hey, I like this. I started and I got my achievements. I got fulfillment for the day, for that single step, the chunk, that activity. And you can do it again. And you can do it again. And your mind will get used to it. Like, hey, let's do that uncomfortable small step today. Let's start with it. And every time that's progress equals happiness. That's most of the time. If you're feeling you are growing and you're doing the good stuff, that equals happiness. So try that. You can say like with a cannon, it's like how do you say it? Ready, aim, fire. That's what they say. Something like this. Ready, aim, fire, in that order. But let's change the order to fire. So you just give it a shot. Then you aim, and then you are ready.
Yeah,
it's a scary concept.
Yeah, it's scary. And I was going to mention something that we have experienced as well, and maybe it's easier sometimes for us is recognizing I'm vulnerable in this situation, that I don't know it all. I'm not the best. Yeah. But I'm very good at this other thing, that I do it very well. And sometimes we get people who are very well in what I'm not, and we get together, and that's something else that has worked very well. We have house coaches that are not designers. They are training in their coaches, for instance, and they want to use interior design as a tool for human development and growth, and they are not the best in interior design, but they are very good coaches. Yeah. So they get together with an interior design, with an architect, an interior designer or an architect, and they team up, and wonderful. That's the best result. Yeah,
wonderful strategy. Do what you love to do most and what you're good at. If you focus on that one, and yes, at school and in our careers, we learn to upgrade the figures that are not good. If you're not good at math at school, what do? They put you in at math extra classes, or biology or whatever. If you don't like science, you got extra lessons of science, because your number needs to raise. You need to get that A or B at least. And that's wrong with the system, and that's where the perfectionism is coming. I need to be a good interior designer and an entrepreneur, and I need to be good with surfaces and floor planning and technology and lights. And oh wait, there's materials, and I need to know all the brands, and I need to to buy them, and I need to fix it, and I need to do the construction work, and I need to guide the whole process. Okay, how much are you looking forward to a new project?
Exactly, it's overwhelming and it's impossible, and then you of course you feel like you're not good enough because it's very it's too much.
Yeah. And then you're trying. Then you're trying, and that trying doesn't feel good. You know what the slogan of Nike, right?
Just do it.
Yeah, and it's not let's try it, right?
Let's do it.
That should be a lazy slogan from Nike. Let's try it. No, you're doing it or not. Don't try things, right?
Yeah.
So go full in. You know your own purpose and you know what you love. Do more of what you love.
Yeah.
That's how this podcast came from the ground. I was like, hey, I like to talk with other professionals worldwide about my profession. Let's start. And then, well, we almost at episode 17 or so. Yeah, and we have thousands of downloads. So who knew that? There was not even a plan to start a podcast. But I just did what I love to do. And other people love it too, obviously. Right. I'm glad for that. Yeah, so it's 80% mindset and 20% skills. That's what we teach at the Institute.
I love that. I love that.
So don't try to be a better designer, but try to focus on the beyond part.
Yeah.
That's real life.
I think that's also something that I take from coaching, you know, like you can be taught some skills, but coaching brings the best of you out, you know, like coaching is a way of remembering what I'm about, what is it that I do that I'm really good at, and my nature, and if you mix that with your skills, is the best you can do.
Yeah, I like to bring it up really because you are with the House Coaching Institute. You have to take that to the surface because that's what you're really selling. You're called the House Coaching Institute. Mm-hmm. But if you're an interior designer and you love this beyond layer or those deeper layer, whatever you call it, you need to do it really subtle, that you every time you are educating your client why it is what you're doing. Yeah. And why they hired you. And every time you need to remind your client that, hey, look, why do you want to change this in your design? Why do you come up with this idea? Where does it come from? I think it's a beautiful idea, but why do you want the closet with diagonal lines? Yeah, I saw it yesterday in a restaurant and I really love it. Okay, but what is the purpose? Do you think you are going to love it tomorrow or next year? What's the meaning for you from this concept? Mm-hmm. How does it elevate your life in a way? It's a storage solution, yes, but this design, what is it? Did you always like the design that way? No, just no. Or like they went to Ibiza and everything, and the next time I gave this example in the podcast last time. They went to Ibiza and they are fond of whites and turquoise and rotan. Okay, get back. What's the goal with this? Do you want to live it in for years? Go back to the higher purpose of the design. And every time when you are referring to that higher level, you are raising the value of the profession and you are really delivering impact because they know what you did. And when you finish your project, people will think about the designer, about the consultant or whatever, the coach who helped them with achieving that result. And they have more meaning. You added a lot of meaning. And if you add more meaning, you can make more impact. That's our strategy. Add more meaning to make more impact. Right.
I have a question about that because I want our house coaches to listen to you talking about it. You know, this concept of productivity that we still have in our heads, like how do we have a new generation of people like millennials and the ones younger than those that are definitely looking for purpose more than money, and they are driven by other things and freedom in their work, and a lot of, you know, they want different kind of jobs. So how would you sell this different way of doing interior design to those people? How would you communicate what we do? How to inspire young people to follow this path and not the productivity path? Because I've been asked every time I talk about house coaching, the first thing that comes to mind is how much money you make and how many students do you graduate each year. It's all about numbers and productivity. Nobody asked me how sustainable is my business, how happy my people are, how happy my clients are. You know, I wish they did, but they don't. So how would you approach that?
Well, I think the new generation is looking for this higher purpose, and a lot of people do, but some people will discover it when they are 20, 30 right now, 40, even 50, 60, whatever. It's going on right now. It's a kind of reset is going on that people think, well, maybe there's always a time to switch my lifestyle, to switch my career, because otherwise, when I die tomorrow, I'm not fulfilled. So the first thing is they need to know what the purpose is. And it's maybe you don't want to hear this, but in some way they are like our clients, because most of the clients, they know what they don't want. And they can tell you, they give you a long list. I don't like this. I don't want that. Okay, what is it that you want? And sometimes they literally don't know. They don't have a clear vision on what they really want. So you need to help them. I think we need to help them, to guide them to see what it is that they really want. Because when you have that clarity, we always say clarity is power, then you know your direction at least. You can measure if there are coming new things on your path. Is this in line with my higher purpose or not? It's easier to choose. And there are so many choices right now in the world. You can choose literally everything in the world. That's another problem.
Yeah.
It's not like you choose your career for 25, 50 years and that's it. You're settled for life. And they do like money. They like money because they can do a lot with money. Why not? But if you need a quality life, you need quality questions. That's one of the mentors told me that one. And it's always about asking the right questions. Again, that's why I mentioned the clients. They need to know what is it, what is their purpose, what is it? So most of the time we're looking for answers. But actually you need to know, you need to look for the right questions.
What to ask.
Yeah, you need the right questions instead of the right answers. Because how is really frustrating. That's always the next question. How do we do that? Yeah, how is really frustrating. But if you know the why you want to do it, the how is much easier.
Right.
Yeah, so always go back to the why. And you can do the same with your clients. Ask them, why do you want that? Why? 7 times why. And you see what's going on. Just test it with your kids or test it with family members or friends. Just see what's going on. Or ask yourself, write something down. Why is it that I'm in my business? I want to help. I'm crazy about interior design. Okay. Why are you crazy about interior design? Well, I see what it can do for other people's life. Why do you want to see other people what interior design is for their lives? Well, because of, okay, why? And you will see, you will touch a kind of depth and level that is, you can communicate that one to your clients, and you are touching the beyond level so easy. But it's all about the question. If you're not able to do it for yourself, let's do this exercise with somebody else. Let somebody else ask you the question, or in your group or with your members or following. Just plan a session for that and to see what's going on. But you know it. It's hard to communicate it, right? What's in your heart. Sometimes you have this business talk.
You know what we use for that? And there's a tool that we use that is called the mirror of self. And we use it for a piece of furniture or with an accessory or something, because sometimes people are very afraid of talking about how they feel, and especially when you talk about relationships or going through a divorce or something difficult in their lives. So we used a piece of furniture and we asked them if they wear that piece of furniture, how would they feel? So it's a very useful way of asking about their feelings without asking them directly, and it's very useful. I remember one time asking a guy that, of course, guys have more struggle talking about emotions.
Oh yeah, is it? I don't know. It's definitely a cultural thing, but I think it's depending on where you live in the world. But most of the time, let's say that's the case.
Yes, not all men, but some men are a little shy talking about emotions. So there was a TV in the space, and we asked him, how would you feel if you were that TV? Because he hated it. I hate that TV. I hate it. How would you feel? And the guy said, what do you want from me? I'm just a TV. And that was exactly what he was feeling, you know, in his life. His wife was asking too much of him.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? I'm just a TV. I'm just here in the wall.
Well, I for sure it will give you some crazy scenarios with clients if you acted with it this way. I think it might be everybody is different, so you can use different strategies to get to the level you want.
Right.
Somebody, I can imagine some of my clients when I tell them to listen to what the chair is telling them, they are like, okay, I made the right choice. No, I'm not in the right place. No, this is not the designer for me. No, it's not worth the investment. Then you are going in the wrong direction. But there are stories. There is one podcast, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. And we share that in depth in our training. And a woman is talking about a mirror. And we ask her, why is this mirror important? Well, I will not share the whole story in this podcast, but you see where you can end up with just a mirror. And that's so cool. The mirror was talking to us and was telling the whole story of her life. And you could think as a designer, this mirror, just a mirror, why does she want to take it so badly in a new house? And you can say, well, it doesn't fit, it's not aligned with it. Who are you? Because this was the meaning. This was setting the whole stage, all the principles and all the design rules were based on the mirror for the rest of the story. Right. So I don't think she knew that, but as a designer, we knew enough to.
Of course, but not every design can get that, you know, like you need to be a little attuned and maybe brave enough and have the courage to see the person behind the mirror.
Just tell them, I'm really curious. I think it's the best. It's the best. How do you say it? Skill approach of an interior designer. Yeah, I think the best interior designers are really curious. You just tell your client like that. I'm really curious. I think it's the best skill for an interior designer to be curious. Tell me why is that? I think in our personal mentorship ships, we have a lot of. Most of the problems that designers are facing in the process are about assuming what they were telling. They say, I asked him or her twice or 3 times why it is, but then they continue their design process and they just take on the last answer, but it's not finished. Right. And then they are angry about that the client wants another version. Why it's not good, and they told me that they want it this way, and now I said, why? How did you do that? How much clarity did you got on your next version that you knew exactly what to do? Why you did that? Can you explain the client why you made this design? Yeah, they told me to change that into that. Why? Yeah, I don't know, but they want it. I was fed up of it, and I just did it. Okay, a few hours later, few hours spent, bad relationship with your client. Yeah. Right.
That I've seen that also, and some interior designers struggling so much with many hours invested in the renders and the shopping and everything. And they get to the client is, this is not what I want, and it's Totally, because they are so much in their head and they don't connect with their needs, with the client's needs, maybe. Yeah, we've seen that a lot.
It's a spiritual game business, huh? It is.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual game. But let's we are well we
Yes,
are we talked a lot already. I have the principles still written down, like the signature. Do you want to know more about that? Is it or do you have a?
I think I would like to know if people have questions. I don't know if in the if there are some questions, because that would be good to answer them.
Yeah, well, in my idea, because we have some questions open that I really want to answer for you, because you send me the question. I'm really like, okay, now I want to deliver the questions of your following. We have an opportunity to send questions to us, to the Institute, so we can create a follow-up on that one.
Okay.
I think that's cool, because I see a lot going on in the chat, and Sven is communicating with them. And sometimes I'm just speaking in the chat like, hey, what is going on here?
I was curious. I am curious about it. That's why I asked.
Yeah, we are saving the chat for sure. We are saving it, and we filter the question, and we would love to get back on that one. Yeah. Okay. So please feel free to direct message me or to send an email to the Institute of Interior Impact. We also have a blueprint for you available. If you go to beyondinteriordesign.club, there is a blueprint. For sure, it starts with asking the right questions and how to assess with your client, where we talked about before. And that's why I said about this principle, Sisi. If I can get to that, yeah. Because you ask me. Sometimes you have to deviate from your own design religion or principles. Eh?
Yes.
That could be a problem.
Right.
Client that asks you like, hey, I want it this way. Do you have some reason to say no to you? And you know by heart, like, oh no, this is the best for them. How do we handle that?
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's what you called. You could call that a signature.
Yeah.
But in my in our world, we are kind of dealing with two signatures. It's a signature level based on the aesthetic level. Mm-hmm. So you could be a designer with a really specific style, with almost the same energy every time, the same vibe or atmosphere you're creating. So no matter for who it is or for whom. No matter. Every time you create almost the same kind of design. That's possible. There's nothing wrong with that. There is a business level. There's a great market for this. A lot of designers do have this signature. They just sell it every time. People want this, they get that. Easy as it is. So you can choose that one. But I think you love more the other level of the signature because custom made the stuff every time, because then we know and we truly believe that will get the people the results and the impact level we want to achieve, that will give the ultimate fulfillment. So that's what we call the principle level. You can call it that one. So one is the aesthetic level and the second one is the principle level. Mm-hmm. And that's a kind of, we teach that at one of our trainings, and that's a kind of set of design rules you are communicating. You can call it your design religion if you want. Yeah, but those are the rules, that your principles that you're using in order to achieve the best result for your client. And that can be a kind of proof for your client, a kind of manual that you can show them upfront. So I'm talking about the first live meeting, for example, that you want to have the deal, and they want to know, how are you going to do that? How are you going to guide us to get there? And that's where
it's like some rules that you follow in your work.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not about this is going to be pretty, not the aesthetic level, but really the kind of design rules. What are kind of game rules, designer rules you're doing every time, because you know it's going to be successful. And if you can show them that you have kind of proof with your projects, it's hard for people to say no to that, because then it's their risk. It's magical when you communicate that. That's we call it. We have 11 of those principles. We call it our heaven 11, because it's when we came up with those 11, it was heaven. People were like, okay, if that's the way we're going to achieve that result, okay, I'm in. I do understand that. And we were like, whoa, no no's anymore. No next design version. They could follow us. So it's all about communicating, but the client could follow us what we were doing in the design process. So it's no rocket science, because we have one of the principles is, I think it's on our blog on the website as well. One of our principles is tidy and lazy, and we make fun of tidy and lazy, and it tells the client actually everybody wants to be tidy and everybody wants to be lazy.
Yeah.
So that is like, how are we going to do that? Yes, that's the ideal world. This is heaven, tidy and lazy. Yeah, I want that. So if you're selling home solutions, like you have really good storage solutions, or you are a designer that focuses on creating new habits in order to storage stuff, or to come back home with your jacket and your coat, and it's designed for those processes. You can explain it to your client, and if your ideal client love those things, they want a tidy home and they want to be lazy, they want to spend less time on tidying up and cleaning, they are fond of the rule. So if they know every solution you're designing for them is in line with those principles, why should they argue with you on that on a wardrobe or closet or custom-made furniture?
Yeah.
They can only argue when it's not giving them the results, when the design is bad.
I was thinking about our clients with house coaching, and sometimes I'm thinking this deals with uncertainty for the client, right? Like giving them a map route somehow, because sometimes people get scared when they don't know what's going to happen, and you go into their homes and start asking questions and asking about feelings and stuff. And so maybe this is a good way of lowering that fear.
Yes, definitely. So you're communicating this upfront during the design, every time you're repeating it, because they wanted to work with you because you told them this is how I do it. And if they see the whole trajectory that you are sticking to those rules in this design religion, not a signature, not only aesthetics, you can do that, but they know for sure. If you're from the neutral colors and you're adding red or yellow and blue in one design version, they are like, what is he or she doing? Yeah. Then you have another problem maybe, but now they know why you're doing what you're doing. So you communicate upfront, during and after the process, even after. Just show them at the end result how it supported their life and how it was, how the religion, your heaven 11, your principles are activated in the design, that they can show, hey, yes, you talk about that, now I can see it, now I can see how this works. And that's a really cool story to tell to other people, that you work that way. It's all about the risk. They have no risk anymore. They know we are crazy people. We are dreamers. We are we are all over the place in our heads with our ideas. So we are a different species.
Right.
And they know that. They know that.
There's a lot of fear on the other end, right?
Yeah. So you create a win-win. That's the best scenario. And you will do that with guiding them, taking their hand, take the lead, and show them this is how we're going to do it. And if you do that up front, not acting like an interior designer, but acting like a design guide or whatever, and you show them this is what we're going to face, I know this because it's my expertise. This is what we're going to face, and this is how we are going to solve it. And why are we doing what we're doing right now? This is the impact we would like to make together.
Right.
Do we agree on that one? And it's almost like they fill out the signature on your sales page and not on your principal page. It's the same moment. They agree on everything they heard from you. And they are like, okay, please take me on the journey. Tell me what to do next, Mark. Yeah.
That's a very, I think it's very useful for us.
Yeah, definitely.
I was thinking sometimes we face very difficult these situations with our clients that nobody wants to talk about, you know, like we go into their homes and there's an elephant in the room and nobody wants to talk about it. Like, for instance, with couples, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
That you go into the room and you see a room that is decorated but by somebody, sometimes the woman, sometimes the guy, but you can see that is not a couple's room, and you want to talk about that, but one of them says that has nothing to do with me, you just do that and I won't take part of it. But it's an issue. You can see that it's an issue. One of them is not feeling at home. Yeah.
Or they say, I don't care about that. And then it's funny. First I was scared of that, and now we're almost always making fun of that. Then we just show them a pink wall, for example, if they hate pink. They just told us, I hate green or pink or blue, whatever. And we just show them a colored wall of what they hate. And you do that really early in the process, because you don't want to spend weeks on designing and then trying to test that. That's not the most ideal way. You can do it in a session. So you just tell them, oh, so if we click on that one and we just change it for pink, you agree with that one? And they're like, no. You make, well, you don't take we are so serious about our profession most of the time. But you can add a lot of fun in the process. And even with those marriages and couples, most of the time you see why they love each other. And I love to acknowledge that every time. Let's see, hey, I know why you love him or her. I can see that because this is your world and this is your world. And you're both attracted. Here's the match. And if you are able to not a compromise design, but you're able to combine those worlds to, well, that they lift each other up, or they are going to be a better person because the design reminds them of who they can be, what they are. That's amazing. You use the game of the marriage that is not good. Maybe I do hope it's good, because otherwise you have two clients. We did over 400 projects and only one failed because the marriage was horrible. So a few months later they divorced. We're like, okay, that was the problem. We had 2 clients, 1 home.
Right. We deal with that a lot. And a lot of guys try to get out of the project because they say, I don't mind, you do whatever you want and I'll deal with it. And at the end, the result is that he doesn't feel at home. Definitely, he doesn't feel good because he didn't participate in any of the decisions. So we have a tool and we work on that. And we've had some amazing results about that. But how would you approach? Well, actually, you already answered that. Like if you show them the result. For those guys who don't want to participate, but if you show them what they can achieve if they participate, because they don't know.
No, that's it. The interior design is for them like a kind of hobby, and the interior designer likes it, and their wife likes it maybe, or their partner, and they are like, okay, this is not for me. Just do your thing. Here's my money maybe, but I'm not really into this, unless you educate them. What
and you show them the pink, and you show them the pink wall.
Yeah, that's for the fun to create the participation. Yeah, I want to participate. Everybody needs to participate. The whole family. We even have questionnaires for the children in the families. And
we do too.
Yeah, it's lovely, right?
As young as 3 years old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so important to
Right.
put them in the. They have another emotions with changing homes and rooms. So yeah, everybody needs to join. And if you do have a client where not everybody wants to participate, you have to think about, is this a good client?
Right.
Because you end up with, well, at least one of them is, well, could be not be as satisfied as you, not happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we do the same thing. And I think it's very important to, if you're working with a family, and that's something that we have seen as well. You're working with a family room, and you're not taking into account every single member of the family is not going to be a family room.
Yeah.
If only one of them is making decisions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you just one more question. I don't know if we're out of time, but I make the question. Is about, how do you measure success in your projects? How do you know if your project was successful?
Yeah, well, success is a bit, you said it before, people ask for numbers when you have when they ask for your business, but at a home or whatever, it's hard to measure if the design is doing what it has to do. But success it has to do with the fulfillment, with the happiness level. If they open their eyes every day and they feel so empowered by the design, then you could say you did it. Then it's successful. If they think after a few years, I want to change my interior design, there could be something else going on in their lives that they want to change. But in general, the basics should be okay. We have some clients in 2008, they still have the same living room and they are on high end level. They are we have a quote list of the most richest people in the Netherlands. They were just below the top 40, but they still have the same living room. I think that's for me, that it is successful, because how many got influenced by other trends, friends, people. So you could say it's when it's adding value to the world, if you get it to a higher perspective and you talk about showing new perspectives to people about interior design, if you educate them on sustainability, about this happiness and fulfillment, it's well, our motto is living on your own terms. Maybe it has to do with that. Living on your own terms is what we have on the headline of with our own design company. And everybody has their own terms. But so if you're living on your own terms, if you're happy in a complete gray house or black bathroom or whatever, these are your terms. And when that works for you, then it works. So if you know it for yourself, because that's important. Again, you can teach other people, but if you don't know, if you're not living it, if you're not living your best life or you're not happy, it's hard to try to make somebody else happy. So living on your own terms for us means I can live or work where I want, with who I want, and when I want. That's a kind of ultimate scenario. And every time when I touch that kind of freedom level, the freedom of choice, I'm so happy. I'm like, oh, I can choose. I don't have to do this. I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's for me the ultimate success, if I have that kind of standards. And if you're talking about that to clients and they have ambitions to have a design like that, so their home will make their life noticeably easier, then you are on the same page. You know, hey, I know he's on the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think the way we solve that, or the way we approach that with house coaching, is we always set an emotional purpose for the project.
Yeah.
That we need to fulfill an emotional need. So
give me an example. What could be the main? Yeah.
And a very, very common example is a lot of women dedicate their lives to their children, their husband, the home, and they are totally homeless in their home. They don't have a space. They don't know where to sit because this is the kids, this is my husband. Where do I go? Where do I sit? Maybe the kitchen, but not all day. Some only part time of the day. So they are totally homeless. So that purpose, that emotional purpose, would be to find yourself again in your home, who you are, what you like, what you love as an individual, not as a mom, not as a wife, not as a housewife,
no,
but as a person, as an individual. And that would be the emotional purpose of the project. How do you achieve that? The whole project is going to be find a place, even if it's a little corner somewhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to have your own home, your own room. And if you achieve that through the project, we feel successful.
So actually, you're talking about place, and maybe you will love this, because first we always ask, what is your favorite place in the house, your favorite spot, or where do you spend the most of your time?
Yeah.
But if you're literally really, a logical answer could be the bedroom, because I spend there 8 hours if you're lucky. Yeah, but is it that you want to focus on the bedroom? No.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite spot? It could be, well, I love to sit at the bar of the dining bar or whatever. But if you ask the question, what's your favorite moment of the week? And that's our magical question always. What's your favorite moment of the week? You get the question you love, you want, because then you know which moment do they value the most. And if it's talking about me time, like you give the example of the women, she doesn't know her place, she doesn't have her own space or moments, because you can have your own chair. Yeah? If you see it logical, you can give her the chair as you want. But when everybody is asking her questions and you need to do all kinds of stuff, or she feels she needs to do something, you didn't design the space well. So how can you create her moment? What does she need for that? And some people, they have a lot of money and they would like to have Indian buffalo leather with whatever and a complete windowsill for 30K for just a seat. And other people just say, no, I just take the chair, I put it in front of the window, I'm looking outside to the sun with my cup of espresso. And every day when I have those 4 minutes of peace before everybody is entering my house, I'm so happy. So let's design that moment. It's one place you need to design to make it successful. If you talk about success and measurement, maybe this is a concrete example.
Yes.
Design that moment and it's wonderful. And for the rest, it could be wonderful and nice too, but this will stick in their heads and hearts. They will remember you every time when they sit on the chair and drinking the espresso. They're like, wow, they did a good job.
Yeah.
The interior designer did a good job. Yeah. So, but the most important thing is we do have very good intentions for our clients, but sometimes interior designers are too good, literally. They say, oh, well, I don't want to earn more. I don't need more money. I just do it for my client. But start with yourself. And they are so busy. The most heard excuses that we hear on LinkedIn, on conversations, in calls, I am too busy. It's like we glorify being busy.
Yeah.
And that's so bad, because busy is not a good thing, in my opinion.
No.
You don't have the creative freedom. You don't spend the time with your loved ones as you would love to. Maybe health is something. Sleep is a magical thing. There are so many important things to get to your potential. So I'm too busy is a really bad one.
It's a bad sign. It's a bad sign that you're not going in the right direction. Right.
Yeah. So if you're talking about meaning and purpose, you have to think about when this is your excuse most of the time to grow or to go to the next level, or to go, whatever you call it, whatever you like to achieve, and you have the excuse, I'm too busy, or you're busy with the wrong stuff, think again.
Yep. We actually start when we do the certification, the program, we start with their own spaces. And we found that, funny enough, designers have terrible spaces where they work and where they live.
Yeah, that's how they treat themselves.
Exactly. That's not okay. That's not okay.
No, it's like we have a lot on our plate. Yeah? We have a lot on our plate, all kinds of things we would like to do and like to achieve, and you see the whole plate. But the question is, do you want to eat all of that? And
how good does it do to you?
What is the question? Do you want to eat all of it, what is right now on your plate? Yes or no? What's the answer, Sisi?
No, I mean, no. I choose only the things that give me energy back, you know, like the ones who, the tasks that give me something in return. I don't give away just for giving away if I don't get something back. And it doesn't have to be money, it doesn't have to be time, but it has to be motivation and happiness and fulfillment. If I do things that don't give me that, I just stop doing them.
Yeah, but I hear you talking about the money part.
Yeah, money is something that is very important.
Why? Yeah, why?
No, actually money is in the base. I would say in the base of the pyramid. We need money in order to have the life that we want to have.
Yeah.
And that is very subjective, I would say, for each person.
Money can buy you happiness, but it then makes life really easy. And how much there are so romantic people like, oh, I don't need that amount of money because my lifestyle is okay. No. And then they have this ambition to help the whole world.
Right.
And then it's like, hey, what if I could give you 10 million right now? How much people do you think you can help with your expertise, with your dreams, to achieve your higher purpose? How would 100,000 people can help? 100,000 people can help you to go in the right direction. And then they are like, yes, thank you. Give me 100,000.
Yes, thank you. Would you?
That's what I mean.
I think it's a combination.
It's definitely the combination.
Yes.
Money is the result. Money is always the result. It's not the goal, it's the result.
Yes, yes. And it's always, we are thinking about that in our institute as well, because now we have it ready to go out into the world and grow and multiply, you know, and we need money for that. That's the only way we can do it. But I think it's a combination of growing and supporting. We don't want to grow in a way that we lose our lives and we are so busy that we cannot even enjoy our work. You know, like we can find someone, or
I think you are in a very, if I look back, and I told you about the example that we had 16 projects at the same time. At that time, it was not a good moment, but when it was a luxury problem. So if you're talking about, I don't want to, that the business, that you are already afraid that your business is growing too big, that will never happen, because you will be so in touch with your business. It can't happen. It's almost unthinkable that this would happen, that you're not in touch, in connection with your business. Please try to build a business that it's unmanageable for you, because it's so big, because then you know for sure you did a good job. If you have so many clients lined up with your interior design firm or institute or whatever, and you can choose, you have other problems, and they are really easy to solve.
Okay, good.
Clear?
Clear.
Yeah, that's a lovely situation to be in.
That's a good problem to have.
That's a lovely, wonderful problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will have that problem pretty soon, I assure you.
we are designers, so design your life Yeah, reshape your life. If you're not happy right now with your life, reshape it. Yeah, you can design your life too. So, so if you think about with your dreams, like, I wish I had those clients, I wish I had those big projects. Yes, you can, but you need to reshape your business, design your life in order to get that. So play hard, work smart, and work on yourself, invest in yourself.
Sounds good.
Yeah, is it? And it's all about serving and growing and giving.
Yes, I want to address that. I want to address that because that's something that they don't teach us that as well in school or universities. When you find a way of serving people, that's another level of your profession and your life, and when you find that is self-developing, you know, like it grows by itself.
Yeah, but how much impact can you make when you don't know how to serve and sell on people?
Right, it's step by step. That's
yes
true.
So make sure you know how to serve and sell yourself, your business, your services, in order to touch all those lives. Otherwise you can talk about creating impact, but you're not making impact because you stay small. Yeah. Create a life you can't wake up to. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sisi.
Okay, so this was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you two, for taking my word on my proposal.
Yeah, no, of course. I loved it. And first, a big hand for all the people that are still here.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Yeah, well, Asia, thank you for the session. Yeah, I saw already some great comments for the people that left us in the podcast with big thank yous and insights, and we will continue with that. So maybe when we have more questions, when you have questions or somebody else in the podcast or who's listening right now, you can go to the description in the podcast. There we have a link prepared for you that you can ask your questions. And we are happy to to share it or discuss it with experts from around the world. And yeah, I do want to mention, because we are here with the Institute and you too, we are offering personal mentorships to guide you on this journey, how to assess clients, how to develop your principles, how to design the life you deserve, how to design processes in your business so you can do the stuff you like and you don't have to take care of all the repetitive, boring business stuff. And then there's a magical part of unlocking your own powers, and that's where you're a big fan of. I always see your eyes twinkling when you talk about that, the unique powers of somebody combining your own expertises and passions to create a unique product or service. We can help people that. We have a few places left in our personal mentorship. So if people are interested, please send me a DM or an email or whatever. It's easy to find us, I think, online. And I'm happy to talk about your business and to help you further with that, because we do have the most beautiful profession in the world. But imagine what it is when you only work with premium paying awesome clients and you have smooth design projects. It's even better.
Even better.
It's even better. Yeah. The recording will be available tomorrow.
Wonderful.
So yeah, we can listen back what we said in this in this 2 hours, and for the people who join us who want to listen back, got the tips and advices. Yeah, feel free. We will create a website, a landing page for that, as well as /Sisi, instituteofinteriorimpact.com/Sisi. And then they can find you there. They can connect with you further with your institute, because you're doing a great job with that. So we want to encourage that we have more people that can include that coaching part into their interior design world, because that's how you can reach the beyond level.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everybody who was joining us live. Yeah, I hope to see you next time with on another topic.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Stay here, Sisi.
Bye.